They say war teaches humans to hate, but for some, war revealed something else: loyalty beyond reason, courage without hesitation, love without conditions. This is a story not of generals or nations, but of beings who never asked why the world was burning. They only stood beside us as it did. Animals of war, silent, loyal, forgotten heroes. They carried messages through gunfire, dragged wounded soldiers from fields of death, pulled artillery through snow and mud, jumped from plains, swam through oceans, waded in trenches. They did not choose sides. They did not understand politics. They did not know hatred. They only knew loyalty, and they gave it completely. Dogs of war. In the mud of World War I trenches, dogs served as scouts, messengers, medical assistants, guards. They moved silently through barbed wire and cratered earth. A dog could sense gas before a soldier could smell it. They could hear death in the silence, the click of a sniper bolt, the breath of a man hiding in darkness. One soldier wrote, "If my dog growls tonight, I will not sleep." They were eyes in the dark, ears in the silence, comfort when the world had forgotten what comfort meant. Stubby, a stray dog turned soldier, saved his regiment from poison gas attacks, dragged wounded men to safety, and even caught a spy. He didn't understand flags, he understood danger and loyalty. The message runners. Before radios worked, the fastest and most reliable communication on Earth was 4 legs and a heartbeat. Some dogs ran through shell fire after their handlers died. They ran with bullet wounds, broken ribs, blinded eyes. Not for medals, for love. Normandy. On D-Day beaches amid gunfire and screams, dogs carried first aid kits, found wounded soldiers, crawled through sand on shattered legs. A medic wrote, "I saw many men lose hope. I never saw a dog do the same." Burial of a companion. When a soldier died, there was a ceremony. When a dog died, a soldier dug the grave himself. Sometimes he cried, sometimes he couldn't. A commander once said, "A dog saved more lives than many officers." Their names were rarely written, but their loyalty was carved into every soldier they saved. Before tanks roared and engines screamed across battlefields, there was the soft thud of hooves. For thousands of years, war sounded like breathing animals, leather reins and quiet endurance. Even in World War II, a modern war, horses carried nations. Germany marched with more horses than tanks. The Soviet Union relied on millions of them, pulling wounded men and cannons through snow so deep engines froze lifeless. A tank breaks, a truck runs out of fuel, but a horse continues as long as its heart beats. Born to carry, forced to bleed, they hauled artillery through forests without roads, dragged ammunition through mud, pulled wounded soldiers from frozen plains. They stood trembling in winter blizzards, steam rising from their bodies like souls leaving flesh. They marched under rain of bullets and never ran from the men who trusted them. One soldier whispered into a horse's ear before battle, not a command but comfort. In the attack, he survived. His horse did not. Years later, he wrote, "I lost comrades, but losing him felt different. He did not choose this war. I brought him here." A bond beyond words. Some horses refused to leave fallen riders, circling, nudging, shielding them from bullets until they fell beside them. One diary said, "A man may doubt another man, but no soldier doubted his horse." The last charges Polish cavalry charged German forces, not tanks as myth claims, but infantry. It was bravery, not madness. The world was changing, and they charged into history's final dawn of mounted war. They did not know an era was ending. They only knew duty. And then silence. Some returned to farms, some lived out quiet lives, some never found peace, waking at thunder, remembering artillery. Most were buried without markers, except in hearts of men who survived because of them. A rusted horseshoe on a lonely hill is all that remains of thousands of lives given without hesitation. Before satellites and encrypted radios, hope had wings. Pigeons, delicate, quiet, carried messages that saved battalions. A mission of instinct and faith. They flew through flames, storms, bullets, and smoke, guided not by orders, but memory and trust. A soldier wrote, "We had radios and wires, but when all failed, we prayed for wings." Cher Ami, the miracle bird. The lost battalion, more than 500 Americans trapped, being shelled by their own artillery. A pigeon named Cher Ami was sent with a desperate message tied to her leg. She was shot down, rose again, flew with a shattered breast, blind in one eye, her leg hanging by a thread, but message intact. Fire ceased. 194 men lived. For her sacrifice, she received France's Croix de Guerre. She asked for nothing. Silent losses. Tens of thousands never returned. Shot from sky, burned by explosions, lost in storms. No graves, no monuments, but every life saved whispers their legacy. Mules, reindeer, camels, and cats. Mules climbed mountains with ammunition where wheels could not go. They did not cry when shot. They walked until they fell. Reindeer carried wounded across Arctic snow guided by Soviet soldiers under northern lights. Camels saved Allied troops in deserts, carrying water worth more than gold. And on cold steel warships, cats hunted rats, guarded food, and brought sailors a reminder of home. Sometimes, a quiet purr was the only warmth left in a steel coffin drifting through war. Some stories sound like myth, but they are truth. Wojtek, the soldier bear. A Syrian bear raised by Polish soldiers, carrying artillery shells during battle in Italy. He stood on two legs like a man, lifted crates as explosions shook the air. They made him private. Wojtek, then Corporal Wojtek. After the war, veterans visited him at a zoo. He stood, saluted, remembered. Elephants in Burma tanks drowned in jungle mud. Elephants marched through hell, pulling artillery, rescuing the wounded, clearing roads under sniper fire. They did not know war. They only knew trust. Mascots and soul guardians, a monkey on a British tank, a fox sleeping beside Soviet soldiers in snow, a goat marching in British ranks, a puppy shared rations by American troops in the Pacific. They carried no gear. Only hope. Sometimes one heartbeat keeps 1,000 from breaking. War ends, weapons quiet, cities rebuild, but fields remain silent graveyards for those who died without names. Dogs waited at ruined camps for handlers who never returned. Horses grazed near rusting tanks, scarred and tired. Pigeons returned to empty lofts. No ceremonies, no folded flags, just memory and silence. Memorials few will see: a bronze horse in London, a pigeon statue in Belgium, a dog carved in stone in Russia, a plaque for Wojtek in Scotland. Flowers placed by those who remember courage that never asked for recognition. The soldier's answer. A grandson once asked a veteran, "Who was the bravest soldier you knew?" The old man closed his eyes and remembered not a man, but a pair of brown eyes, a tail wagging in mud, warm breath in frozen trenches. "He never left me," the veteran whispered, "not even once." Final truth. They did not fight for flags. They fought for us, without understanding why, without asking for anything, without hesitation. Heroism is not the love of battle, but the willingness to protect another life. And in those darkest hours of history, they may have been the most human of all. Let us never forget those who served without question, loved without condition, and died without applause. They did not choose war. They chose us.